Hello everyone. In this video we will discuss logical data types in MATLAB and also relational operators. So let's get started. Um, there are two possible logical data type in MATLAB and pretty much in any programming language, and these are the true and false. So for example, I can type x equal true, and that's a logical data type. And automatically MATLAB assigns a value of 1 to the true value. I can also define y as false, and in this case it would be logical 0. Whatever is true is automatically assigned the value of 1, and whatever is false is automatically assigned the value of 0. We can check here also in the workspace that these x is a logical and y is also logical. And you might notice also in terms of size, the size that this occupies in the memory is 1 byte. So it's smaller, or it needs smaller space in the RAM memory in comparison to the double. So that's the first thing. So we have logicals, true and false, and they will enable various programming possibilities, as we will see later. Another thing is that it's possible to do mixed calculations that involves double and also logicals. So for example, let's actually take an example on this. Suppose I define h equals 7. Now h is actually double. We can check that, and it has a larger space in the memory. It occupies 8 bytes. We can calculate h times x, and in that case it would be 7. The answer is 7. And the answer is actually double. So when we mix when we mix calculations that involves a logical and a double, the final answer is double. And basically, if the logical is true, it will be the calculation will be based on a value of 1. If it is false, it will be based on a value of 0. So for example, if I calculate h times y, so remember y is false, that will give me 0. This could be useful sometimes in some programming structures. The fact that you can do this mixed arithmetic or mixed calculations between logicals and double data type in MATLAB could be useful in some calculations. Now we discuss the main thing that's very useful in programming, and that's relational operators. So let's write this here. We would like to discuss relational operators, and there are many of them. Basically, a relational operator is applied to two numbers, and the result of the relational operator is either a false or true. So for example, the first relational operator is greater than. So for example, I can say, let me clear the memory for a second. I can say that x equals 8, and maybe y equals -1. Then I can ask MATLAB, is x greater than y? This is basically, so the greater than here is a relational operator, and the answer is either true or false. So if I hit enter, it gives me that the answer is logical, and it's 1. Remember, 1 means true, right? If I type y greater than x, I can ask MATLAB, is y greater than x? And the answer, of course, is false. So the first relational operator is the greater than, and the answer is either false or true. There are similar operators to the greater than operator. For example, there is greater than or equal, there is less than, and there is less than or equal. So for example, let's do a couple of tests here, quick tests. Suppose g equal 20, and maybe let's say z equal also 20. And I can ask MATLAB, is g greater than or equal to z? And of course, it's not greater than, remember, this is greater than or equal, so the answer should be true. All right. So these are very, very useful relational operators. Um, Other two useful relational operators are checking equality. And here, one really has to be very, very careful. Let me even make this in yellow. The double equal, it means it's a relational operator. Basically, I am asking, are these two numbers equal to each other or not? Similarly, there is the not equal, which is a tilde and equal, which is basically asking MATLAB whether these two numbers are not equal to each other. So for example, let's try here. I can ask MATLAB, is the number G equal to the number Z? And the answer is logical true, because they are equal to each other. I could also ask MATLAB, is G not equal to Z? And please notice that I cannot leave a space between the double equal or the tilde equal here. And again, the answer would be false because both G and Z are 20. And if I ask MATLAB, are they not equal? So the answer is false because they are equal. All right. So these are the main 6 relational operators. And remember again, if let's actually clear the memory here. Suppose I have a variable b and assign to it x, for example, 4 equal to 5. What does that mean? It means that I'm asking MATLAB first to check whether 4 is equal to 5. And obviously the answer will be false. Then the final answer, which is false, will be assigned to b. So b, this variable b, is not going to be a double data type. It will be a logical data type. So let me hit enter here. So b is a logical. Its value is false because it's the answer of this question or this relational operator question. I can apply relational operators to arrays. So let's write this second thing here. I can apply these relational operators can be applied to arrays. So, and the thing is, the comparison will be done element by element. So for example, let's make an example here. Let's also clear. Suppose I have array X, let's say it contains 1, 2, 5. And array Y contains maybe negative 1, 2, and 7. And then I can ask MATLAB, does the array X equal the array Y? What's going to happen here is that MATLAB will compare them element by element. So in fact, let's see what will be the answer in this case. The comparison will happen element by element. So let's see. The first thing is that the 1 is not equal to negative 1. So the first element in the result answer will be false. So let's actually, maybe we can highlight this. So it will compare that 1 is not equal to negative 1. 1 is not equal to negative 1. So the answer, it will also be an array, but it's array of logicals. So the first element will be false. And the second will be by comparing 2 and 2, so they are equal, so it will be true. And finally, 5 and 7, it will be false because they are not equal. So let's actually check this. The answer is a logical array, and it has the value 0, 1, 0. Remember, 0 is false and 1 is true. And you can also check in the memory that the answer is an array of logicals. Its size is 3 bytes because it contains 3 elements. I can also check whether x is greater than y. And again, this will happen element by element. So yes, 1 is greater than negative 1. So in this case, I will have true. Also, I have 2 is not greater than 2 because they are equal. Remember, I'm checking greater than. So it will be false. And finally, 5 and 7, it will also be false. So let's check this together. is x greater than y, I get true, false, false. So I can also do these logical relational operators on arrays. The final thing is, the final thing we want to cover in this video is the order of precedence. In fact, let's write this here. All numerical calculations have higher priority to relational operators. So let's clarify this by an example. Suppose someone is asking you to check whether 9 plus 7, whether this is greater than 11 plus, maybe 10. And I'm checking greater than. So who has the higher priority? So as we said in the previous slide here, all numerical calculations have higher priority to relational operators. So what does that mean? It means that MATLAB gives the priority for 9 plus 7, so it will evaluate this first and it's going to give 16, okay? And then it will evaluate this next, which is, 21, and then it will check whether 16 is greater than 21, and the answer, of course, is false. So what's going to happen here if I type 9 plus 7 greater than 11 plus 10, so it is false because it's like 16 if I'm comparing 16 to 21. And in spite of this order of precedence, which we just stated, it's much, much better and safer to put parentheses to give to the eye of the programmer that this has the higher priority. This needs to be evaluated first, and then this, and then I compare whether they are equal to each other or greater than or less than, and so on and so forth. So let's summarize what we covered in this video. We discussed logical data types, and there are only two logical data. There are true and there are false. In terms of RAM memory size, a logical occupies 1 byte. In MATLAB, automatically true is 1 and false is 0. And you can do mixed calculations between logicals and double. We also discussed the relational operators, and there are 6 of them. They are applied between two numericals, two numbers, and the result will be a logical operator. Also, logical operators apply to arrays, and this happens element by element. So the result of applying logical operators to array, it will be an array of logicals. Finally, we mentioned that all numerical calculations have higher priority to relational operators. Thank you so much, and see you in another video.